Hey, we're going to go off the cuff on this one. This is not part of the content calendar, but has been top of mind. In a nutshell, been thinking through ways to track my kids' learning and academic performance. And if you're familiar with school systems and softwares, they're usually really clunky, hard to navigate. Sometimes data is missing. So just not a great experience, and figured why not just create a quick dashboard for my kids to each have their own space to have quick access to the programs that they're using on a regular basis, but then also to track their performance and also see how they're doing and see their own data, which is also usually pretty hard to do. So we're going to wing it a little bit and maybe make this into a series if there's any kind of interest, or if there's other parents out there that are curious how to set up dashboards in the same way. So this is going to be shared with our kids, so we want to make it fun and interesting at least. So we're going to go ahead and add an icon here and just add a cover quickly, maybe go with something outer spacey. And then here, we're just going to add a call out and then just add their name here. And we'll just add a little note just so that they know what they're looking at. So next, one thing that's been helpful is just adding a space for quick links. If they're part of class that is using certain programs on a regular basis, just having buttons that if they're using Clever or Discovery Science or different ones, just adding those in here. So if we add a button and we just set this to open a page or URL, and then set that URL here. If we copy and paste, let's say, just gonna add one here for now, and then click done. Oh, I need to name it. That's pretty straightforward. So we'll click into settings and we'll just call this Clever, and we'll maybe give this a little icon here, and then click done. And then let's just change the color so we can maybe color code these to be different colors for each program. So skipping ahead a little bit, we could see once we've got all of our tools here, each of these are clickable. And once we share this with our kids as a guest, then they could use this as a home base in their browser and then go straight to that program. The next area is just tracking our learning, exploring this a little bit, where each day logging at least one thing that we learned that's new, so we can track what we're learning, and then with that spaced repetition methodology, being able to go back into what we learned previously and keep that into our long-term memory. So we'll need a database for this. If I type /database, we'll make this a full page, and we'll call this a learning journal. And here we're going to call this entry. Let's create a new view and we'll create a form. So this will be where our kids are adding their learning journal entries. So here, we're just going to call this journal entry. Probably find names that are more fun. The next one, we've got our entry here. We'll make this a long answer just to encourage a longer response. One other question is, if we select multiple choice, we could just ask, where did you learn this? And this will allow us to track if this was in a class, at home, reading a book, or one of the online programs that we're using, to be able to then group these journal entries later without having to do too much on the front end. So this might be things like Discovery Science or iExcel or iReady. I'm sure these are all very different depending on where we are. And then the goal is to fill these in based on whatever we're using. Maybe book or class activity. And let's just leave it at that, but we could add in some more details, but I think getting started, we don't want to get too crazy with this. If we go into our form settings and customize form, we could just personalize the note when they submit their journal entry. Great job. You're doing fantastic. And then their name, just so it feels personal. And we'll click share form and copy form link. So even though the database lives within the dashboard, we'll go back to our Learning HQ and drop in a new section called Learning Journal. And then if I press Command V or Control V and embed, this is going to add that form directly into this page. We're adding our entry here. A side note, using an AI dictation tool like Whisperflow to speak out our journal entry to make it faster and less friction. And then that way it's less having to type. Depending on our kids' ages, typing might be a challenge. So we want to make sure we avoid that. And then the next thing, if we want to treat this as a journal, if we go back to our table, we'll see here that when I added the new question to the form, this added a new property in the database along with those options. So if you add these in the form, this will update automatically. But we might also want to track things like when this was created. So if I go in and add a new property, we're going to select created time. And in the case that you're maybe multiple kids sharing the same dashboard, you can add created by. So this will track or be able to group by whoever is adding in their notes. This is maybe getting a little too nerdy, but if we go into our database and select an automation, we might say whenever a page is added, send an email or a Slack message to keep track of. So I could say, I could send this from me to me, but we could say new learning journal entry. This might be cool in a Slack channel where you can just see and review all of those journal entries in one channel. Not necessary, but could be cool to do. The one other area which I'm currently building out is just a place to add in very ad hoc quick lessons. So for example, if we have a new section called lessons, and I'm going to go down to the very bottom, we'll eventually probably want to move these databases somewhere else so that our kids, maybe if they have edit access, don't accidentally delete them. But if we add a new page and we make this a database, let's just build with AI while we're here. Lessons, database to track students' activities, lessons, and topics. Just see what that makes. All right, so we have the lesson name, the topic. We'll want to keep that one. What else did it make? The date, duration, students, we don't need that. Status, yeah, probably keep that just so that they can log their progress or mark it as done. And we'll just keep these two for now. If we find that we don't use any of these database properties, we could just end up deleting them anyway. And then we'll click done. This is just selecting which views we want to have. Again, when in doubt, just keep them, and then you could always delete those views after. So we have our lessons database, but I'm going to create a new one called Learning About Charles Darwin. And this is something one of my kids brought up yesterday. We'll make this about probably science and history. The date, we'll just select today's date. Duration, we'll just make this one 30 minutes. We're just starting out, so I don't want to overwhelm. At this point, we'll leave this as planned. And I'll leave these two blank for now. But when we open this up, the goal is to make this so that it's fun, interesting, and we're bringing in some content and having some quiz questions maybe at the very end, just so we can track our answers and have a key. We're getting a little into the weeds here, but let's just build this out quickly to see how it looks. We're going to switch gears here a little bit just to use AI to quickly create a little mini lesson. But in this case, we're going to use Perplexity, and specifically Perplexity Labs, which will complete more complex projects. So if you think of an AI tool, you can ask it simple questions, it can give you simple responses. But when you get into some of the advanced options, in this case in Perplexity, like search, research, and labs, we're going to use labs because we want to not only create some text, but also bring in images if it could find some, and put together some quiz questions at the very end. So we'll just kind of give this a prompt, see what comes out. And the goal here is to copy and paste this into our Notion page and have our kids use this as a mini lesson. And while we're here, we're just going to use Whisperflow to dictate. This has been great and a huge time saver. Not a sponsored video, just a really big fan. But in this case, we're going to hold down Control and Option and say, I'm creating a mini lesson for my 6-year-old on who Charles Darwin was and his impact on science. So come up with a brief explanation that's interesting and engaging for a 6-year-old, and also find images that work with the text. And then we'll add something like come up with a 5-question quiz at the very end, followed by an answer key, just in case I don't know the answer. And lastly, something like make sure that it's formatted in a way that's breaking up bigger ideas or easily digestible for elementary level students. So we'll click here, we'll make sure that Labs is turned on and start, and this will just, through its process, the Labs option does take a little bit longer. It's doing more kind of reasoning and thinking, so we'll let that go and see what comes out. Okay, I got a cup of coffee and we're back. So we've got a big portrait of Charles Darwin. This is pretty cool little map showing expeditions, boat, that's interesting, some birds. All right, we're just gonna get all of this into Notion and then we can format it. We're gonna try to export this as a doc. Well, let's try Markdown. So it's gonna export a Markdown file. Now let's try to import this into the Notion page and see if we have any luck there. If I click / and import text in Markdown, we're gonna add our new file and let's see what we get. We have our page, but let's open this. We got any? All right, we got our images. Perfect. And we can get rid of this Perplexity image here. We have all the stuff in here, but let's go back to the previous page. After we've imported it as a Markdown, we could turn this into text, which will just add whatever was in that page onto our current page. So now we have our title, and we could say make this a little bit smaller and drop this text over to the left. This is duplicated here. We'll get rid of that. Let's make this image a little bit bigger. We're making our own little textbook chapter. Here we've got our voyage, and it looks like it's duplicating the captions. If we wanted to get super detailed, we'd grab the image and then in our settings, add a caption here. We're gonna skip that for now. Mystery of Finches. Here we've got our turtle. Okay, and then we've got our fun facts here. So for the quiz, we have our questions. I might just add a section with an answer. So you can click into here and then add the answer. It's a little bit more user-friendly. So we'll duplicate these. If you press Command or Control or D, it'll just add a new call out. And same thing for the answer key. We're gonna turn this into a toggle and drop in our answers. I could probably get away with this for a few lessons before they find out where the answers are or what this little toggle is. But in the meantime, we can just use that. Let me just move it all the way up to the top so that that's there. Okay, so we have our video information. Might be a little long-winded, but I'll see how this goes. But anyway, we have this within our lessons database. One other thing that we can do is if I right-click on the calendar view that was created using that AI database builder, if I copy a link to this view and go back to my Learning HQ, I can paste that link as a database view, and then we have our calendar with lessons. So a couple things we'll want to do with calendars, especially in a standard with Notion page, is in layout, just wrap page titles so that we have a little bit more information. And then we can probably hide weekends. I don't think we'll have any activities on the weekends, but we could always turn that back on later. So now we have the names of our lessons, and if we wanted to also turn on the topic or status, we could also do that. So this one is ready to go. So we have history, date, duration, and then it looks like the database builder put in these extra properties in the sidebar. So we'll turn this into in progress. And actually, while we're here, I'm just gonna open this full screen. I wanna make sure that they update their status. So if I go into customize layout, we're gonna add the status and we're gonna apply to all pages. So now our kids can go in, click here, and then mark it as completed. So now that we have our homepage, we have our quick links to tools that we're using, we have our lessons database and our learning journal. Now looking at this, it doesn't need its own extra header, so we can just add that call out on its own. And then we have these other databases here. Maybe we kind of like put these into a call out and give this a little icon. Cool. So that's pretty much it. I'm gonna see how this goes. A couple other things that I want to do, get in testing data so we could see change over time, not just scores, but percentile rankings, just in case there's any areas, in this case, it's just reading and math, where there is a dip or a decrease. So then it's maybe putting a little bit extra time into one or the other subject. So figuring out not only how to format that in a quick database, but also visualizing it here so that our kids can see how they're tracking and performing over time. So anyway, kind of a wild card, but let me know if you want to see any more of these, or if you're doing something similar, like if you're homeschooling or just tracking some of these academic activities and or maybe doing it in a different way. Very interested to hear what you're doing. But otherwise, that's all I got for now. See you in the next one. Cheers.